Welcome back, everybody, to a new year, new faces, fresh rivalries. I am pretty sure I used that introduction last week, but hey, I don't care. We can lie too. It's John Fisher here with Brad Shepard alongside with me in 2019. So, just so everyone knows, in 2019, we can now assume gender because 2018, you weren't allowed. Now you can. It's a new year. It's a new year. Yes, it is. To whomever I'm speaking to. But no, for real, it's a new year. Happy New Year to all. Hope everyone had a wonderful holiday. It's back to your normal crappy life at your crappy job, unless you're one of the lucky few that enjoy going to work. And if so, good for you. Brad, are you one of those people?
No, I'm not.
Well, damn.
I work because I have bills to pay.
Yeah.
And you know what? As soon as those gimmicks stop coming in, then I'm not going to be working.
Those gimmicks.
Yeah.
Are we now supposed to talk in pro wrestling vernacular? Like when I went to tell the tip, or when I was at Chili's restaurant tonight and I went to tell the waitress, thank you. I'm like, I think she refilled my water and I said, thank you so much. And she no sold me. She didn't say anything. Are we, are we going to be like that? Cause I can play that game.
Yeah. Tough crowd. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what we're going to, that's the fun of this podcast. We're unpredictable, Fisher.
Oh,
I don't
yeah.
know what we're going to be like from week to week.
No, we don't. No, we don't. Can we start off by did you do anything fun for the new year? I know you have little kiddos at home, so it's kind of hard, but were you able to stay up till midnight, watch the balls drop on Mustafa Ali? And
Well, my balls dropped a long time ago, but yeah, I did get to see the ball drop. The old Dick Clark rockin' New Year's Eve with Ryan Seacrest and company.
Did they have his hologram again?
I didn't see his hologram this time.
Yeah, well, you know what I'm talking about, right?
I do. Yeah.
Yeah. They have the absolute best production, and here's why. Because what they used to do is have Seacrest start out doing his whole gimmick. See, I can do it, and then you had the hologram of Dick Clark because it's still his rocking New Year's Eve from the grave. Dick Clark, they superimposed Dick Clark onto the shot when the ball dropped. I'm like, that's kind of cool. But then out of left field, you get Jenny McCarthy, who's always drunk and making out with a random person at the front of the row, which is always my favorite part of the new year. Because I get to see that because she's already plastered by 8 o'clock.
Well, that was actually kind of commenting on that because every year they have to get the shot of Jenny McCarthy and the Wahlburger boy sucking face on camera when the ball drops.
Yeah, of course.
The old cliche, and it's kind of like, it gets a little annoying, but it's fine. It's fine.
You know what wasn't fine? Today's news.
Yeah.
I know. Yeah. Before we do you want to get to it? Our partner, our friends in crime at PowerSlam.tv. Want to get into that real fast?
Sure. Yeah.
Or do you want to do it naturally? Do you want to have it naturally come out, or what do you? What are you thinking? I mean, we're professional here, so I don't care.
We are professional. Well, we've got some bad news today in the world of professional wrestling.
We did.
And we've got some good news, though, to balance that out. That's right. Free 99, powerslam.tv, free month, a ton of content, non-WWE wrestling, shoot interviews, really great stuff. And I've enjoyed it so far. Again, it is free. You can't really beat that. So powerslam.tv and use the coupon code OYDKWS. Is that right?
Yes. Yes. You haven't messed it up yet, but you're still going at a snail's pace. So I'm proud of you.
Good. Well, I've had a lot of concussions. So
Have you really?
No.
Oh. Well, I wouldn't joke about those. They're not very fun. I mean, Daniel Bryan has had 107. It's not anything to kid about. Please be respectful. Yeah, powerslam.tv, OYDKWS is the promo code. You get it for free for the first month. It's great. Free 99. Not that 9.99 bull crap that you hear all the time about. So let's discuss, the events from today. Longtime wrestling stick man, as many described him, Gene Okerlund, passed away at the age of 76, I believe.
Yeah, Gene Okerlund passed away at the age of 76. Yeah.
Yeah. From what we don't know, the autopsy has not been performed. As far as everyone else is aware, he had no health issues going into the new year. In fact, Jim Ross put on his Facebook page just a few hours ago, he saw him at WrestleCade, and that was about a couple months ago, and it looked like he was in good spirits. I don't know if Okerlund was a big drinker, a big smoker. Sometimes that matters, sometimes it doesn't. I don't want to assume anything, but I just have to think that there was something that he didn't tell anyone, maybe, or it may have been natural causes. Have you heard anything of the sort?
Yeah, I haven't heard anything in particular about what the cause may be now.
Yeah.
Gene, was diagnosed with cancer. So, I don't know if that was obviously a factor at all.
Yeah.
But it's certainly something. He's fought through some health issues for sure. And I knew recently that Lanny Poffo said he wasn't feeling well.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think this is, we're going to find that he had a health issue, and that was the cause. And I don't want to speculate because we're recording this, and obviously it's, very soon after the situation. I just know that, he's had some health issues for sure, some major health issues. He's had cancer. He wasn't feeling well recently. And so hopefully we'll find out more information. I think, the focus really shouldn't be on that. The focus should be on what he brought to the industry of professional wrestling, the memories that will live on forever. What Gene did was really something that nobody else in that role could do. I mean, he truly was one of a kind, irreplaceable.
Yeah.
And I think that's what makes him so special. You look at the Hulk Hogan interviews during the huge golden era of WWF, and Gene is a centerpiece of that. And you've got Hulk, well, let me tell you something, Mean Gene.
Yep, I was just going to say that.
The old signature of those interviews. But Gene did a lot of great work, AWA, WCW as well. I mean, he had a great career, and there will never be another like him. So, and of course, he was on Legends House.
He was
on the WWE Network. And, I just thought Gene was a great personality, and he was exceptional at what he did. I mean, just the way he could guide the wrestlers through interviews if they got lost, or the way he could transition from, talking point to talking point, the way he could just entertain. I mean, he just really, was kind of an outlier, and in a great way. So, he will forever be missed in professional wrestling. There will never be another person like him.
No.
And so I think that says a lot.
No, and this is a little bit different for the wrestling community, not just WWE, but for everyone, because everyone knew who Mean Gene Okerlund was, just whether it was via stories or by watching old clips or just growing up with them as a kid. I mean, as we record this, the Lords, so this is Wednesday night on January 2nd, around like 9:17 Eastern, lordsofpain.net said that Gene Okerlund's son claimed that he recently suffered a fall that caused health issues. So, again, as Brad said, that isn't the main part of the story. Obviously, it's his passing and the remembrance of him that is the important part. But just so everyone knows the situation, he had undergone 3 kidney transplants, and he fell a few weeks ago, and then it went from bad to worse. That's Gene's son who told the Associated Press. Anyway, and you can read more at lordsofpain.net for any of that information if you want to read any more. So since I'm 25, I did not get a big chance to watch Mean Gene in his prime, in his heyday, or even as a main member of the roster. He was gone before I started watching wrestling, and that was in 2006. So I was about 13 when I began watching. But Dean, who's in his 90s, did get the chance to watch Gene Okerlund starting at a very young age.
Very.
He watched Gene grow up in high school. No. but Dean is a big fan of Gene Okerlund's, and he did watch his most, if not his entire WWF at the time career. And he put a little something together.
Happy 2019, and as much as I would love to drop an elbow on Brad right now for his extremely misguided takes on particularly SmackDown and the involvement of Becky Lynch with John Cena, this week, though, we got to take a little moment to remember Mean Gene Okerlund. And he was of mine and Brad's era, probably more than anything else. I distinctly remember in the early 80s, the first time he appeared, I thought to myself, maybe I was 13, 14 years old, I thought, who's that guy? Because I was used to Vince McMahon interviewing wrestlers. But Hogan put him over with Mean Gene, and he became an iconic part of 80s wrestling. He was a showman. He was over the top. Probably never to be taken totally 100% seriously. He was part of the shtick, and he sold it well. And he created his own niche, one of a kind to be sure. And I'm sure right now, up in heaven, him and Bobby Heenan are having some serious laughs together. We've lost another legend from the era of the 80s and 90s, and check it out on WWE Network, some of his work, and you'll see that he became part of the show and part of it that guided our wrestling lives through a few decades of wrestling. Rest in peace, Mean Gene Okerlund.
Short, sweet, and to the point. Would you like to? I know you already gave your thoughts, but are you want to add on anything?
No, I think we've said all we can say. I mean, obviously, he brought a lot of great memories to us, and he'll continue to do that through the magic of the WWE Network. So, obviously, it's going to be fun to check out all that Gene added to the business over the years, for many years to come. So,
and it's really quite ironic how much shit we gave the WWE Network in its inception, but it has really become one of the bigger resources that we go to for a lot of stuff. I find that kind of funny how it all comes full circle. And if you do want to read more about Gene himself, I was just doing a little bit of Google work while Dean was paying tribute instead of dropping an elbow this week. I'm sure that elbow replacement will have to wait for another time for Dean, as he is quite old. He is a native of Grand Forks, South Dakota, and the Grand Forks Herald has a decent article on him. So go take a look at that if you choose. They quote Steve Austin, Hulk Hogan. They do a couple of things, but the biggest, and you're gonna love this, the biggest. Every wrestler reacted to his passing, right? Social media, Twitter, any facet, all the way from Hulk Hogan down to young Caleb Braxton on the reporting team. But the best, easily the best one that I found was Drake Maverick, the manager of the Authors of Pain, who have not wrote any books recently because, wow, they're not very good. But Drake Maverick had easily the best tweet about Mean Gene Okerlund for many reasons, and here it goes. I remember the first time I met Gene. Gene said, "Spud, I was walking around the offices of Titan Towers in Stamford, Connecticut. Do you know who was talking about you?" Drake goes, "Oh my God, who?" Gene goes, "Absolutely fucking nobody."
Oh, that is classic.
Yeah, it's amazing. And Drake said, "God bless you, rest in peace." I found that to be freaking tremendous. So that's all I got on this subject. Sad day in wrestling, man. It was a rough year, was it not?
Well, we're kind of getting to that point where a lot of the older generation wrestlers are a lot older, and frankly, they're dying. So that's sad. So let's not dwell on it too much, because Gene was a treasure to the business. He brought a lot of great stuff to the business, and a lot of joy to the business. So let's bring joy to our audience. Let's get into WWE Monday Night Raw.
This is a show that I did not watch, not because I was busy, because I was, but and I meant to watch it too. So, as far as a couple of highlights, I mean, they announced the returns of Brock, Braun, and Cena for next week, I believe.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, so they're coming back next week. Initially, I thought that Brock was coming back at the end of January, but I guess he's going to come back on what would it be? The 6th. So he's back next week. Owens and Zayn are coming back soon. Great. There was a steel cage to lead the show. Did you get to watch that match? I heard it was okay. Drew was put over once again.
Yeah, it's fine. Ziggler and McIntyre. I mean, we've seen it plenty.
Yeah.
So, it was fine. It was nothing special. It was, a match. So that was that.
Yeah, it was a match. I want them to do more with Drew. Drew, I hope he wins the Rumble. I don't know of a better choice right now. Honestly, of either brand, I don't know who is in a more prime position to win the Royal Rumble. I feel like Drew McIntyre is an easy position for the creative team to use as the guy going into Mania, because again, there's no guarantee Brock's holding the belt, although he probably will. But if they need to make somebody new, man, I don't know when Roman's going to be back, and then they're lacking that major talent, and Drew has all of the tools to be that guy, and he can talk. Not many can, but he can actually talk. Would you want to see Drew in the main event picture? I think it's time.
Yeah, Drew could be in the main event. I mean, he's got a Scottish accent, so
people think that's hot.
Yeah, I mean, I'm Scottish.
So am I.
I don't have the Scottish accent, but Vince tends to like American-born wrestlers as his top guy. So I don't know about that one. Certainly, I see he's capable to be in the main event. I think Baron Corbin is capable to be in the main event. Pull the trigger on Baron Corbin. He's got all the tools.
He's not. He doesn't. No, he's not. And he doesn't. And he lost to Apollo Crews. That is not going to happen. Sorry.
It was a battle royal. And look, the battle royal meant so much that Apollo Crews eliminated 8 million people and then lost clean to Dean Ambrose.
Didn't he eliminate half the field?
I think like 8 people.
That's half. There was 16 entrants in that battle royal.
So yeah, it was half the people. It was kind of ridiculous, actually, but whatever. Yeah.
At least, okay, so they promised us new faces, right, and new matchups. We got it, but they kind of blew their load in an hour.
Well, they tend to do that.
I know you don't like Apollo Crews, but he's athletic and he's different. So I was like,
short. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, oh, whatever, fine. And
he's very short.
What's very short to you? 5'10"?
He's like 5'8".
Apollo Crews? I don't know.
Yeah.
We haven't seen him in person, have we?
Yes, I have. I absolutely have.
Is that when you and I were? No, that's not it. They list him as 6'1".
Oh my God! Who lists Apollo Crews as 6'1"?
Wikipedia.
Oh yeah, that's like Wikipedia says it must be true.
So they say that he's standing at 6'1", weighing 240. I believe that part. He is around 240. So, but yes, he is.
Okay.
I disagree with.
Well, what step stool is he standing on to be 6'1"?
I don't know. So then, but his picture says 6 foot underneath his photo. So I don't know what's true.
I do. He's like 5'8". I've stood very close to him.
Is that the show that we were at in Raleigh?
We did a show, and I think you were with me. Yes.
Was that the night
I think you were with me?
Was that the night that Stardust stole the show?
That might have been the night that Cody, aka Stardust, in Raleigh, had one of his last ever WWE appearances.
That's right. And I think he had match of the night. I forget who he was wrestling though. He had a really good match with somebody.
Well, it wasn't that great.
You really liked it. I remember.
It was a fun house show match. I mean, it was nothing great, but it was fun. But yeah, like I said, he's short. Let's just, call it what it is. I got told that I need to be more brutally honest, actually, is what I got told.
No, you don't.
No, really, I did. So I said, you're right. I need to really let loose here.
Oh my God. No, then you can do the podcast on your own. I can't. I will quit forever. Please no. Please no. Whoever told you that's wrong. I don't care who it was. Okay. Unless it were like the president. Never mind.
No, the feedback I also got was they would like us to do an all women's wrestling episode.
Okay, that one I don't believe. Who said that?
No, seriously.
I gotta bite my tongue so bad.
Well, I'll do it. Look, I'll do it. I will do an all women's wrestling episode. I mean, I'll tell you exactly how I feel. We'll do it.
Wait. Oh, okay. I thought that was an inside joke between us and all women's podcast. No. Okay.
No, I'm being serious.
An all women's. We talk about the women a lot on this show.
Yeah,
we do. Don't sound so excited.
Well, you can only watch Asuka so many times before you want to bang your head against a wall. I mean, now we've seen her latest botch, and it's like, okay, so she's got the worst promo in WWE. She has no real character, charisma. Her ring work is not very good.
According to you, that's subjective.
She's the champion.
That's subjective. That's your opinion, and really no one else.
Well, I'm sorry. She can't pull off a basic move that any small to average sized man could do with ease. And she's good in the ring?
Again, that's your opinion.
Because she does strong style?
Well, that's not a fact. It literally isn't. It is your opinion.
She's terrible. And why does she get a pass? She is the champion.
She sells merch.
It was a double botch. Not only did she not pull off the Jeff Hardy move, but she tried to kip up. It failed at that too.
I mean, it's a botch in a house show. Who cares, really?
Oh.
Now, whenever you're terrible on television for 5 months in a really major role, then you really don't deserve anything.
Okay, well, she's terrible on TV too.
Your opinion. That's not a fact at all.
Well, that's a fact. Look at the ratings. Nobody wants to watch Asuka. Where has Asuka been on SmackDown Live?
Last week.
Okay. What about this week?
The one.
Where was the champion this week?
She was on the show. No, they announced her. So she was in a backstage with Triple H talking about her championship, and they announced. I'm trying to remember. Isn't it horrible? I was at this freaking show. A lot has happened between then and now in my personal and professional life. So it was a backstage. I wish I were kidding. It was a backstage with Trips and Asuka, and out came Becky and Charlotte and Carmella, and they announced so they were talking about how each of them deserved a shot at the title, and Trips said, "I'll take it under advisement," and that was it. So she was on the show. She was on the show backstage. Truly, she didn't say much.
That probably made the promo better.
Well, see, why would we do a women's wrestling show if you hate everything women's wrestling? Why would we talk about it?
Why wouldn't we? I mean, it's a topic to cover. It's one of the divisions in WWE.
No,
It's
but
something maybe our audience wants.
okay, and then if you can be constructive and positive, then I'll do it. But not if you're going to be cynical and negative the whole time.
Well, I'm just going to be honest. I mean, if it sucks, it sucks. Like, look, Asuka's not very good.
Your opinion.
She's overrated.
She's not overrated.
No, I think Ronda Rousey's really good.
She's actually only okay. I think she's doing fine.
Oh, okay. Well, this is a conversation we could have.
Here's the thing. It wouldn't be a conversation because you're saying that someone sucks that pushes a shit ton of merch, way more than almost any other woman on the roster, which is a fact.
Her t-shirts. What are you talking about?
Her t-shirts and her mask were everywhere. It's not even. It's not even
a debate. True. Her merchandise doesn't sell a dime.
She had shirts there, and the Miz didn't. Which, by the way, I wanted to ask you, why didn't the Miz have any merch at the SmackDown show? Doesn't that strike you as odd?
Well, that's just the way it works sometimes. I don't know.
The Miz, I don't know. They had Becky, Cena, AJ, Randy, Jeff Hardy, Samoa Joe, Rey Mysterio. That's it.
I'm sure he'll have some merch out at some point, different markets, different storylines going on right now. I mean, Asuka's the champion. She has some merch out, but she doesn't sell merchandise. She doesn't sell a lot of merchandise. That's a fact. She doesn't sell a lot of merchandise. She doesn't move the needle. She's not very good in the ring. Her promo's the worst on the roster, but we're going to make her champion. That's a great fucking idea.
She is good in the ring, or she wouldn't have a job. I mean, it's like saying the second round or the second string quarterback sucks. No, he doesn't. He's in the NFL for a reason. He doesn't suck. He's just not as good as the guy in front of him. Right? Okay, good example. Matt Castle was behind Tom Brady for a solid number of years. He didn't suck, did he? He was just behind the best. So it doesn't suck. Let's be more constructive here.
Yeah, but he wasn't Super Bowl MVP either.
He did lead him to an 11-5 season his very first year.
They didn't make the playoffs.
At 11-5, they should have. Why didn't they? That's a whole other conversation. But they should have. No, I'm not doing it. No. I'm not doing a women's show with you at all until you can be more constructive. End of story. Period. No, I'm not going to do it. Nothing. I mean, if you're going to say they suck or they're bad or they're overrated, I'm not doing it. I will wait until you.
What am I supposed to say if they do suck?
Then be more constructive with your criticism. You're a linguist. Use your words.
Okay, I can do that.
Constructive. Then I'll do it. I will gladly do it. I think that'd be fun because I love women's wrestling. I think it's great.
Yeah.
I think it's great. So what else? I mean, was there anything else? I didn't watch Raw. I didn't go out of my way to do it. Anything else fun happen? Was there any, I heard Rhino beat Jinder Mahal beat Rhino. I mean, that's cool. I thought Rhino was fired, but that's fine too. I guess they just forgot all about that.
Yeah, that's easy to do, They did have a segment with Seth Rollins where Triple H put him over. They're kind of setting up each authority figure has their little favorites.
So it's okay. We're talking about Vince and Styles.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any problem with that?
That's fine. I mean,
well, you like AJ. Who am I thinking? You're a fan of his.
I like AJ. Yeah, I mean, he's obviously more of a cruiserweight than a heavyweight, but I like AJ Styles. I really do.
You really don't like AJ Styles? Or I'm sorry.
I do.
Why is he a cruiserweight? I mean, come on.
Because he's small. What do you want me to say? Why is he a cruiserweight? I don't know. Look up the definition. He's a cruiserweight. But he's really good.
Wasn't Eddie Guerrero a cruiserweight?
Yeah.
For a little.
Really good too.
Well, do you think AJ deserves to be in the main event?
Yes, I do.
Okay, well then that's fine. That's all I wanted to hear. Yeah. Vince has AJ. Shane has the Miz. Trips has. Did you like that promo? I kind of like babyface Triple H better than heel Triple H.
I think Triple H is bipolar, right? Are we going to get evil authority Triple H, or are we going to get NXT good old boy Paul babyface? I don't know what we're going to get. It seems like he's bipolar.
Yeah. I think he's funny. I think he's good at comedy. Him and Shawn Michaels always cracked me up. So
his beard irritates me.
His beard.
Say that.
Do you miss his old handlebar mustache?
Oh God,
that was some good facial hair.
He needs to trim his beard.
Yeah, he does. It's getting a little stupid. He thinks he's a part of like some biker gang. Then again, he might be. Yeah. And Stephanie McMahon, who's her bitch? Because that's what she does, is emasculate men.
Of course. She can emasculate the men. They just, can't emasculate her back.
So if you had to take a guess, who Stephanie McMahon could align herself with?
I don't know. I don't care. Her beard irritates me too.
She doesn't have a beard.
Oh, okay. Well, it's HD, close up, Whatever.
Man. I have to say, what are they gonna do? So I think they've been like, do you know that meme with the fisherman and he's roping in the dollar bill at the end of the line, and as soon as you go to pull it, they just like tug it away?
Yes.
Okay, so I feel like that's what they're doing with Elias, because clearly the guy has main event potential. He's over with the fans like crazy. He's very marketable, clean face guy, not like literally, metaphorically speaking. Can connect with the fans very well, and can actually wrestle a good match, and can talk. But they just play this cat and mouse game with him. It pisses me off a little bit. Why? What's the point?
I don't think there is a point other than, make sure he doesn't get too over.
I think, and honestly, I'm not messing with you. It's not because what he did to Baron Corbin on Monday. It isn't. I just don't understand it.
Yeah, that was super lame. That little song was super lame. I just think they don't want him to get too popular. I really do believe that's what the intent is. They do the stop-start pushes. They slow people down because they don't want him to get bigger than the company.
Yeah, that someone said that. I think it was you. I think man, deja vu. They don't want anyone to get. Yeah, no one would be big. No one would be a Cena, Hogan, or what? Not that. Right. Not to say Elias will, but you get my point. You get our point.
Yeah.
Now, someone who named John Cena did return on SmackDown finally, and since I was in attendance, Brad, you didn't get to watch the show. Cena shared.
I refused to watch the show. That's true.
For whatever reason, Cena, Becky, and the New Day shared pops in the night with AJ Styles. All four of them equally were the loudest reaction. Biggest chants of the night were for Becky by far. The Cena sucks, let's go Cena chant was there in and out. But Cena and Becky were the hottest act of the night, easily, without even a doubt. Chants all up and down, the most merch for equal for both parties. Pittsburgh loved it.
That's your eye test being in the audience, yes.
Oh, I could see. I had a good vantage point. I was looking down. I was in a box. Thanks to my girlfriend who got us box seats for the show.
Which was very nice.
It was very nice. She sat through the whole thing and didn't want to leave once.
Well, what the hell is wrong with her then? That's what I would wonder. Yeah, but anyway.
So they were electric, got the crowd hot. Beginning of the show, the New Day were back to their original comedy, and it worked very well. They were funny, being themselves, not pushing some dumb pancake agenda BS, which was obviously forced and stupid. And what else? The Fatal 5-Way was all right. Obviously, AJ's going on to the Rumble, despite your preconceptions. with Mustafa Ali, but AJ came out the victor. Dark match was AJ and Daniel Bryan in a steel cage. It was mediocre. They didn't want to go all out. I understood it, so it was okay.
Well, let's get right into it then. Let's talk about the segment that I want to talk about, and that's WWE jumping the shark with Becky Lynch attacking John Cena. And look, I want to get your thoughts on it first. You were there in person, so I want to get your thoughts on the entire scenario, and then I'll respond.
Well, I already know what you think, so it's not even worth me going into. I thought it was freaking amazing. I loved the reaction it got. And I mean, my favorite wrestler interacting with Cena's always been one of my favorites since I was a kid. So with one of my favorites interacting together, it was great. I like mixed tag wrestling. I think it's fun. I loved all of it. It was tremendous. And they gave her the Cena rub, which is not hard to do, or not easy to get, I should say. So clearly they like her, and she didn't jump the shark with the people who make the decisions. So that's all I have to say about it.
What do you think about a 5'4", 130-pound woman physically throwing a 6'1.5", 250-pound man out of the ring?
I mean, I don't care. It was the way it was.
No. But what do you think about that?
I don't.
What do you think about the physical element of that? Is that believable?
No, but I don't care. It's pro wrestling. Who cares?
Believability. Who cares, right? We might as well just all get on trapezes and do 20 backflips. Welcome to Cirque du Soleil. It's all just a big show. Don't worry. Don't get emotionally invested. We're all just flipping around and having fun here.
I was emotionally invested. I thought it was awesome.
Okay, what would have happened if Cena turned around and clocked her one?
That would have been kind of funny.
No, seriously. What if John Cena had just stood there and given her an attitude adjustment?
I mean, Jericho
What would the reaction? Would that have been awesome to you?
It would have got a reaction for sure.
Well, what kind of reaction?
I don't know. Probably, I don't know. If it was a kayfabe punch, people would have went nuts and said Cena turn heel. But it didn't happen.
People have been outraged by that?
I don't know. I mean, it you know, for the minority of internet wrestling community people, they like mixed wrestling, so I probably not. But to the general populace, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. It didn't happen, so it doesn't matter. It wasn't going to.
It was jumping the shark, and I felt like it was Bird Box, and all of these Becky Lynch marks are wearing the blindfold, and they've taken off the blindfold, and now they're looking into the light, and everything that Becky does is wonderful, and everything is overly hyped, and it's kind of like a disease or a sickness. It's the Bird Box.
I didn't watch the movie. I just
okay, but it's jumping the shark. Are you kidding me? They're going so over the top with Becky Lynch, like she's the next John Cena, she's the next Stone Cold. Come on. She's not even the top person probably on her own program, much less in the entire company. Can we slow it down just a little? I mean, I actually believe what they're doing here, it's so forced that, it's actually hurting her long term. I really do believe that.
I mean,
everyone got to slow it down a bit. Let it be a little more organic. The stuff they're all kind of quickly pushing. It's like they're throwing the kitchen sink. They have John Cena come in, and what's the payoff to that? Becky Lynch is so bad. Yes, we all believe the person who got her butt kicked by Nia Jax is just so bad. I mean, she can't even she's not even the top person in her division. But she's beating up John Cena. John Cena comes back. Arguably, he's one of the greatest of all time, right? He never loses when he returns. He comes back. He squashes Baron Corbin in SummerSlam. He goes on and on and on. He comes back. He wins matches, etc. He makes an appearance here, and Becky Lynch clowns him. She throws him out of the ring. Then she gets in his face, smirking, and does the "you can't see me" gesture, while he just stands there like, oh, golly gee, Becky. It was so fucking stupid. It was so fucking stupid, and it jumped the shark, and it was totally unnecessary. I hated it. And that's why I refused to watch SmackDown. It's getting absurd. The Becky Lynch hype is getting absurd. Let's just look at face value with what she brings into the company, what she does. Is she a big ratings draw? No. Is she the top merch seller? No. What is she doing that's like John Cena and Stone Cold? Can we just give it a rest? Could we maybe pump those brakes just a little bit? That's all I'm saying. I think she's having a great run and she's doing some good stuff. Let's just pump those brakes a little. Let's be a little more realistic with our expectations and with how we present her to the audience. That's all I'm saying.
All right. Well, moving on to a division that. So before I get into that, did you get a chance to watch the New Day's promo? I know you didn't watch the show.
I did not.
You should. So I implore you to watch the New Day segment and let me know what you think. I think there was some stuff that you would have enjoyed in it because of how good it really was.
I mean, I'm totally bored by the New Day. They're throwing pancakes out of their underpants. I mean, I just find it to be a very, very bad act.
But this week was different. This is back to their old formula, like I said. They didn't do any of that, which is why I liked it. I think the throwing pancakes is dumb too. I'm not with it. It's just it's silly. But I'm not silly. I like silly. It's just weird. But no,
it's not. Sometimes silly, or funny or whatever can be good.
This was not pancake throwing New Day. This was original formula.
Entertaining. Yeah. Look, just imagine a Fox viewer. Just imagine a year from now. They're on Fox, okay? And you've got sports. And you've got the New Day pulling pancakes out of their underpants. How quickly are those casual sports fans going to turn that channel when they see that?
Maybe quickly.
Yeah, maybe quickly?
Yeah.
Maybe they can't find the goddamn remote fast enough. That's what I would say.
But it'll be interesting. No, the New Day this is their best segment in a while. Without a doubt.
Toni Storm. Let's talk about that situation.
We can do that.
So what are your thoughts on Toni Storm, the NXT UK wrestler who had nude images and videos hacked illegally and released out to the public? What are your thoughts on that?
Now, did you ever study law at all?
Yes.
Now, the act of hacking and stealing her personal information, is that illegal by under a court of law?
Sure.
So, okay, knowing that, I mean, obviously it's a scumbag move, no matter how you shape it, and it does not belong anywhere. You don't it's a shitty thing to do. You don't do that to somebody at all. It's private information. It should never be, it should never get to that point. Like, Xavier Woods and Paige, like, there were a few others too. I can't think of the top of my head, but it's happened to plenty of wrestlers, whether you like it or not. And it's shitty. It's not a good thing to do. Now, there was a point on Twitter that I saw earlier that said stealing that information is illegal, but taking the pictures isn't. I don't know if I agree with that fully. I just think maybe if you do those things, be like encrypt it, be extra careful, like do something so you don't put yourself in the situation. I am in no way blaming Toni Storm, but she's a young up and coming wrestler. I like her stuff. She's good. I'm a fan. I wish that none of it happened. I'll just say that. I'll stay neutral. I'll be the Swiss. I wish none of it happened because she deleted her whole social media profile. She's scarred because of this. And it sucks. I feel for her, the guy should be imprisoned in jail and gets his comeuppance. But if you're going to do it, man, like be careful because that shit can happen to anyone. It's the internet. It sucks. I don't know. That's kind of my thoughts on it. I feel for her. It's awful.
Yeah, I mean, I feel for it too. I mean, obviously, I think you have a hacking of private pictures or videos. That's an invasion of your privacy.
It
And
is.
I certainly feel for her. I think that's terrible. It's like, when someone breaks into your home, you feel safe in your home, and it's a violation of, your safe space, so to speak, right? Your privacy is violated, those type of things. So I totally get that. I sympathize with her on that. I think it is really a terrible thing to do, and the person, I think they should be arrested and prosecuted.
Yes, I agree.
With that being said, I also want to say that I think she probably didn't handle it the best. It came out, and she began blocking people on Twitter, and of course, I'm sure a lot of the fan feedback was, in some cases, not very good.
Yeah.
And the people who are sharing around the pictures and videos, not a big fan of that either. But the story got out, and I understand covering the story from a news standpoint without posting the images or videos, because it is relevant news. You would see the same thing if it happened to, a Hollywood celebrity at TMZ, and agree with it or not. That's news. It's relevant, and they're going to cover it because that's their job.
Yeah.
So I think her reaction should have been more of like owning it. I think, obviously she is a beautiful young lady.
She is.
And, so she finger blasted herself on video.
Is that
who hasn't done that?
I
mean, seriously, it's 2019. Who hasn't taken explicit images or videos or whatever at some point that they wouldn't want the world to see? I just feel like, hey, you own it and you move on because there's nothing you can do about it. But kind of deleting your social media, I don't see how that helps the situation.
It doesn't. I mean,
because there's nothing to be ashamed of. I mean, seriously. But yeah, I do hope the person who, or people who did this, I hope they, arrest those stupid fucks or whoever it is.
Yeah.
It's not right. And, it's not their place to do that.
No, it's not. It should never happen. I mean, again, like you said, it is 2019, and you know what? It happens all the time. That doesn't mean it's a good thing. It just sucks. It just sucks. And there's no other way to put it. And so quickly, let's touch on All Elite Wrestling. And I know how you feel already, but I'd like to hear your thoughts first.
So Cody Rhodes and the Young Bucks made the announcement about All Elite Wrestling, which had been speculated about since an original report on EtsyScoops.com.
Yeah.
They also announced the Double or Nothing show, which is just All In 2.
Is that really what it's being billed as? Not exactly, but...
Well, no, that's what it is. It's the second All In.
Oh.
It's called Double or Nothing.
Okay.
So, the first All In, the ROH production crew helped. ROH helped financially.
Yeah.
Then Cody and the Bucks used that to create their own promotion, which will be in competition with ROH. So you could talk about how that was a big time blunder on ROH's part, or how they kind of pulled a fast one on ROH. You could also talk about, look, you have to give them credit. They went to a really, really rich fucker, a billionaire, multi-billionaire, and talked him into giving up big money. Raja.com reporting $100 million up front to fund AEW.
Shad Khan, son of the Jaguars owner Tony Khan, by the way.
Well, yeah, he's a co-owner of the franchise as well. Now, we'll certainly talk about that because, it's important to set realistic expectations. You are fighting for a niche hardcore fan audience, right? Yeah. I don't see this bringing in a casual audience. So while that should be a goal, I mean, it's okay as long as the business is financially successful, it doesn't have to bring in a casual audience. But you've got the argument of, like we said, you've got the co-owner of the Jaguars, a really, really rich family. Well, guess who else funds or funded wrestling companies that were really rich or are really rich? TNA and Panda Energy with Dixie Carter.
Yeah.
ROH and Sinclair Broadcasting. Where are they at? They're irrelevant. So what I'm saying is you do need money, but at the same time, if you think just having the money is going to mean you can be in competition with WWE, you're wrong.
Well, the first part about it is if they want to have any even semblance of a chance, they need to be on television. Period. End of story.
I mean, I completely agree. And you've got Dave Meltzer on Twitter saying they do not need a TV deal to be long-term successful.
That's asinine. Yes, they do.
John, you're completely right. Dave is incorrect. Yes, they need a TV deal for long-term success. Period. Yeah. End of story.
Yeah,
that's reality.
It is. Now, can I pose a question to you?
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's say Tony Khan ended up pulling strings and they were able to get a television deal. Do you believe that this? And I'm going to use a comparison you might not agree with, but hear me out. Do you think this is the same situation as it was when WCW went under Ted Turner's eyes and said, I want to get into the wrestling business? It's some billionaire asshole who has a lot of money and wants to fund a wrestling venture just because he can. I get that, the talent isn't the same and wrestling isn't as popular. I understand that. But it's still somewhat of the same premise, minus the television deal and the wrestlers that we are talking about. It's hard to ignore that.
Well, I think you're completely right. I mean, they're even allegedly in talks with Turner Broadcasting.
Yeah.
I mean, Cody's going to be an executive vice president. The Young Bucks are going to be an executive vice president. I mean, we're talking about them running, production and creative and being talents on the roster, and likely bringing in their own friends. I mean, come on. Of course, it sounds like WCW, right?
Yeah.
And again, we've got these fans who want to get in the wrestling business, like the Jaguars co-owner, and so on and so forth. As we just talked about. So, and by the way, have you looked at the Jaguars as an NFL franchise? They're the shits.
Not doing so hot right now.
Yeah, not doing so hot under that leadership, are they?
Nope.
So just because you have a lot of money, doesn't mean you know how to manage it or anything like that. So I just wanted to point that out because it's not really getting a lot of coverage. So it's important to recognize that. It's important to be honest about this too.
Do you have a problem with them paying media outlets? I don't, because I'm in the media industry. I get it.
Oh, I absolutely do. Yeah, I absolutely do. I mean, what is going on right now, and it's very clear, is AEW, the people running AEW, are co-opting the wrestling media.
Or are they just paying like per column, like, hey, here's like a $50, promote our show? Not lie. I don't have a problem with lying and exaggerating, but if they're just promoting a show like an advertisement, I don't have a problem with that.
It's a complete conflict of interest when you are a journalist and you are an analyst giving your opinion on things, and you're also promoting that product. You have an agenda. Look, two different sources have told me that Dave Meltzer is a consultant for AEW but is not getting paid. I'm just going to put it out there. Seriously.
Yeah, I have a problem with bias. I don't have a problem with advertising. They're two different things. So,
yeah, advertising, sure. Any wrestling company could do that, but using the lead big name journalist in the wrestling journalism industry and co-opting him to promote it and spread propaganda,
Yeah, no, that's not cool.
And under the guise of, it's not like they're saying they're doing this. But, Dave was on the WWF payroll decades ago promoting WWF propaganda. Yep. So, yeah, my question is, like, is this unethical behavior, like, really any surprise?
No.
It's a clear effort to co-opt the wrestling media and, and manage the narrative and coverage of AEW. Look, Paul Levesque does the same thing. Let's be clear here. This is not specific to them. Paul Levesque uses his NXT conference calls and some of the things he does to try and do that with the hardcore fan base, with NXT.
He does.
Look, I just want to be clear. Access is good. And I think that, Cody and the Bucks, I think they do that much better than WWE. So, like, WWE could take note of that. Access is good. But co-opting, when you go into that, just going a little too far, that's bad. That's not good.
No, I agree.
That can't be. You cannot trust anybody in the industry who's willing to do something like that. So, and I think there are several other wrestling journalists or sites who have been co-opted. In fact, I'm pretty sure, but, I don't have the hard evidence. So I'll just say this, like, to fans wondering who they can trust, I would just say, look at the wrestling journalists who had exclusive information about AEW before, during, or immediately after the announcement, which largely only Cody or the Bucks would have known. Think about it.
Yeah.
Who's friends with them and already pushing a narrative about not needing TV to be successful long-term? Who's recording a podcast with details hours before the official announcement is made by Cody and the Bucks? Think about it. So
common sense.
Yeah. So, that is a problem to me. That's not okay. And it's just kind of accepted and it's not made a big deal. And I don't get it. I don't get it at all. So, but they're making some interesting moves. They're obviously going to be going after WWE talent. I was told this week that they want to make Jim Ross part of the management team, along with BJ Whitmer, who recently quit ROH, and Timmy Baltimore as well, who was an announcer for All In.
And/or Chris Jericho as well.
And, but JR is still under contract for, 2 or 3 months with WWE. And so they're concerned about tampering. So they're trying to play it off. But of course, they've been in contact for a while.
Yeah. He was named in a report months ago.
Yeah. And it's true. It's true. There's been contact there and they've had to try and cover that up, basically. So there was no tampering issue, but that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to bring some people in and get it lined up. And, look, I hope they're successful. I'm just being honest here, which I'm not really finding a lot of people doing. And I'm just being honest. And, I hope they're successful. Absolutely.
Yeah, me too.
I'll support them. I hope they're successful. I've just got to keep it real about the situation. Or I'm not doing anybody, any justice here. So,
yeah, I hope they're successful too. And hey, I think Brad and I want WWE to have more competition than anyone else in the world, because that means
100%.
It's just true.
100%.
It's true.
And I don't think they're going to be competition. It's highly unlikely there'll be an alternative. But you know what? I hope they are. I hope they're mega successful. I hope they are direct competition, because look, that's what makes Vince put on a good product. We've seen it.
It does.
So I'm all for options. Options are a good thing. Monopolies are really not, right? That's the way I feel anyway. So I'm all for them being successful. I think we need to call a spade and be realistic about expectations. And again, not buy into the overhyping of something. Let it play out a little bit. Let's see how it goes, and then judge it from there.
What do you, and real quick before we sign off, what do you respond, or what is your response rather to the report of WWE possibly having an effect on them operating in venues that WWE operates in? Because remember how we talked about with wrestler contracts and all of that, especially dealing with businesses like the ones that WWE operate with, like not Progress, but a few of the indie companies that like work with NXT. They could pull some of their little strings, if you will, and yeah, that there could be some restrictions. I mean, what do you think about that?
I wouldn't totally rule it out. I mean, I think they're going to have to get WWE's attention a lot more for that to be the case. I really do. But, if, they start trying to steal WWE talent and get on their radar, then it's possible they could do that.
Not that this is a monumental thing, but I did read a report this evening that Britt Baker, the girlfriend of Adam Cole, who did appear in NXT, she signed with All Elite Wrestling already. So they have a female talent on their roster as we speak, one that WWE did look at. That is confirmed. So maybe it has begun already.
Maybe it's begun, and you have to wonder how long this will go on. I mean, $100 million. They're going to blow through it quickly if they are giving competitive or comparable salaries and, and producing TV, et cetera. So,
all they'd have to do really is just offer a competitive contract that NXT would, right? And right? Is that just the easiest solution? Maybe not.
Geez, I don't know. I mean, I guess it depends on the talent, right? Because, the NXT salaries are low.
Yeah, they are.
So, those are going to be easy ones to take.
Yeah.
But, options are a good thing for everybody. So, again, let's just let it play out. And let's be honest and transparent about what's going on rather than promoting, it's going to fail immediately or it's going to, be the biggest thing ever and give Vince competition. Vince, you better be ready.
Yeah.
So let's just pump those brakes a little bit. Let's see what happens. But in the meantime, let's be honest and let's be transparent about what's going on, and I guess be responsible if you're a wrestling journalist about the situation. Yeah, that's the problem. Is wrestling journalism is full of fanboys. That's the problem. It's not full of real journalists. It's full of wrestling fanboys.
There are a few real journalists in wrestling. You are correct.
Yeah, absolutely.
A few.
Absolutely. And I think that's, that's the issue. And it's unique in that regard. I mean, everybody who covers everything, like you cover sports as a journalist, you're a sports fan, but it's kind of a little bit of a unique situation here where you've got a lot of unpaid fans writing articles, fanboys with WordPress access, and really that's what they are. And there's nothing wrong with being a fan, but it crosses over into that blurred line, and you have an agenda with what you're talking about, rather than kind of looking at it objectively and being honest.
Yeah, and
that's the thing about me. Like, I'm not afraid to piss people off because I'm going to be honest, whether you like it or not. Mm-hmm. Not worry about going on this podcast and saying something that makes a wrestler angry, because obviously they're listening to our podcast. Let's be honest, you know that, John. And and so, then they get mad and, they block me on Twitter or whatever. I mean, it happens.
They get the boo-boo face.
But you know what? That is life. That's life. I'm going to be honest. It's not personal. But I'm not going to kiss your ass either because you're a wrestler. I mean, let's just call it what it is. I'm a fan. I'm not a fanboy. And we need less fanboys in wrestling journalism and more fans.
Good example. I'm a fan of the Steelers, and trying to report on Antonio Brown and be objective really isn't easy. This is an example.
I am looking forward to that James Harrison interview.
Me too.
Antonio Brown.
I broke that to our newsroom, by the way. That was fun.
Yeah, that one, and this is of course totally off topic. This is the You Didn't Know football show, but that's going to be interesting because James Harrison is not a big Mike Tomlin fan.
No, he's not after that last run in Pittsburgh. No
so
way.
This is really, I think it's going to be juicy. I'm looking forward to it. Is Ben Roethlisberger, is he the central theme of discontent on the team, or is it just Mike Tomlin can't control the group, or
is it Art Rooney who allows it all to happen?
Right.
Oh, yeah, I could go on about that for hours, but we won't. Where can we find you on Twitter?
Find me on Twitter at the Brad Shepard, SHEPARD, and please do not email me if you are trying to reach Bleacher Report's Brad Shepard, Brad_Shepard on Twitter, same last name spelling. As I found out, there's a sports journalist named Brad Shepard, same name as me. And most recently, I got one of his emails talking about an article he wrote, only they addressed it to me, which was quite funny. So
you can find me at John Fisher TV. Is there anything else you want to say off of your chest before we ride off until next week? Next Wednesday morning, also.
Well, you know what? New year, new me. I'm letting it loose. The juice is loose.
Oh God! What car are you driving down I-9?
I'm driving a bulldozer, and I'm breaking it all down. I'm taking it all with me.
Oh, where's your shovel?
I'm gonna borrow Paul's.
Yeah, bury all the indie companies.
Yeah.
Oh, we'll see you next week.